Yeah, so I didn't even explain what this book is about. My voice is a little better, so I can attempt to explain what this book is about. So basically, we have a character named Noah Marshall. His mom is the chief police girl. His mom is the chief of the Austin Police Department. So one night, Noah gets home, sees his mom sitting at the kitchen table. There's like a radio. It's like going in and out. She's drinking. She's obviously just very drunk, and there's a gun on the table. Now, Noah didn't think anything of this because she's a cop. Like, they had guns around them all the time, and she's a drunk. So she's kind of like relapsing. She kind of like went into this bender before and she got out of it, but now like she's starting it up again. So Noah's kind of just trying to talk to her, be like, let's just go upstairs, go to sleep. And he's going to like call his dad, which his mom and his dad got divorced. He lives in Seattle, has a whole new family. So he's thinking that he's just gonna like get her to sleep. They're gonna get help in the morning. He goes upstairs to shower. He hears a gunshot. His mom killed herself. Girl, what happened? So he's obviously distraught. The police come in. Silius is his mom's brother, who is the district attorney. His mom is also called Jackie. So Jackie killed herself. Silius comes. A bunch of the other police come. Noah and Silius are talking. He starts telling Silius about all the stuff that... Is it Silas or... One second. Google Translate.
Silas.
I said Silius. Babe, someone looks silly. So it's Silas, not Silius. So we're gonna pretend that I was saying that right. Actually, because it's women's month, right? It's the month of women, so you can't get on me about that. Silas. So Noah starts telling Silas about all the stuff that Jackie was telling him, like she was to blame for Abe's murder. Abe is Jackie's ex-partner who died in like a gun drug thing. She just feels so guilty. She's the reason why Abe's family was drove out of town, Dina and Gracie. And Silas keeps being like, your mother didn't have any part of that. Don't tell police that. Don't say anything because it's going to like incriminate herself. And Silas was just like, no. He's also the district attorney, and I think he's going up to be like elected or something. So they didn't want to ruin that reputation, whatever. And also she was drunk. So they're like, this could have been anything. Just don't say anything. Noah ends up not saying anything, right? Nothing really happens. Noah went to the lawyer to get like the will read and like just like other things, you know, when someone dies. The lawyer gave Noah an envelope and it said, open this alone. Quite a few days pass. He gets invited over Silas's house. There's a man there. His name is George Canning, and he's the ex-chief of the Austin Police Department. And George and Noah get to talking, and George is telling Noah about Abe and how he had died, essentially. So basically George set up this whole like unit to go after drug dealers and just the crime in general that was happening in Austin, and they were cracking down people. The drug dealing was like going down because of the unit, but George had a heart attack, so he had to like get put off the position, right? So then someone else comes in and fills the position. They're like, no, the unit is going to be stopped. We're not doing this anymore, right? But for some reason, the police found out that there was this corrupt cop that was finding these drug dealers, taking their drugs and then reselling them. So he was making the profit, and they knew that he was a black person. Once like the murder of Abe happened, which what happened was Abe and this other guy were in a hotel room, and there was a bag full of drugs and money, and they both died. And once police found out about that and started investigating in it, Abe matched the description of the corrupt cop who was like taking drug dealers' drugs and then selling them. So then that painted Abe as a guilty man. His family, Dina was his wife, Gracie was his kid. They just left. They're like, deuces, we're not dealing with this. Yeah, but they all used to be one big happy family. By everyone, I mean Abe, Jackie, Noah, Gracie. Like, they used to be really close, and especially Abe and Noah, they used to be really close because, like I said before, Noah's dad wasn't really in his life, so Abe kind of took up that position. He was like a big brother and a father figure. He coached Noah's basketball team. Noah would go to him like for his first kiss. Noah told Abe all about that. Noah really looked up to Abe, so when he died and when he was painted as this corrupt cop monster, it just kind of broke him inside. And also his mom, which Abe and his mom were really close. They were like best friends, and his mom wasn't defending him in whatever way, like, and it was just very confusing for him. So yeah, that brings us to the letter that the lawyer gave Noah, and Noah finally opens it after leaving like Silas and George, that whole situation. He opens it. It's a diagram of the kitchen and there's a little compartment. He goes back to the house, looks at the compartment, and there's a big bag filled with money, and there's Abe's gun holster, and there's a letter that says, give this to Gracie, she needs the money, don't ask questions. And then there's Gracie's address. Gracie is the daughter of Abe, right? So now he's on his way to that address, which is in Arizona. He's on his way over there to give Gracie the money, and then I think, you know, everything's gonna stem from there. We did get a POV from Gracie, and she lives in this trailer park. She's mixed, she's black and Latina. Her mom is a drug addict. Gracie's mom's name is Dina, and she hates Jackie's guts. When she sees like articles and the news talking about Jackie's death, she's like, yeah, because she had Abe killed. Yeah. I think that's where we're at. A little other side piece was that Jackie had a previous partner before she was with Abe called Wyatt. Wyatt was George Canning's son. Remember, George Canning was the prior chief of the Austin Police Department. So George's son, Wyatt, was a police officer, and he was paired with Jackie. They're doing their thing, whatever. One day, Wyatt's walking out of this convenience store or something, gets shot in the throat because there was some like drug turf war going on, right? So it's very weird that Jackie keeps like being involved with these guys, like as like partners, whatever. She keeps like being in the middle of this. Kind of. First partner Wyatt dies in like a drug turf war, and then Abe dies in like a drug situation. Like, Jackie, what's going on? Jackie, you're not innocent. And she was saying she wasn't innocent, but Silas keeps telling Noah, your mom wasn't like that. No, she had nothing to do with this. Silas, how do you know? Because she hid that money from you in the freaking secret compartment of the kitchen for a reason. Because if she would have put that in the safe, the police would have found out about that safe and found out about all that money, and then what? And then what? Because how are you going to explain all that money with Abe's gun holster in it, and then a letter that says bring this money to Grace, Abe's daughter? Sure, Silas, she's innocent. So yeah, I'm like on page 50. I'm on page 65, actually. It's going good. This is like a romantic thriller. I'm sensing perfect book. I thought these people were like, by these people, I mean like the main characters, so like Noah and Gracie. I thought they were going to be like 18. This man's like 25, 26. Not saying that's old, but that's like, I would say you're kind of an adult, right? Anyway, I just thought they were going to be like 18. Gonna get back to reading. I'll probably come back to you at the 100-page mark and see where we're at. I know you guys like when I talk to you about the books and give you updates because it feels like you're reading it with me. And that's literally so amazing. Like, I love watching that. I love watching reading vlogs, and it feels like I'm reading the book with them. And they're giving me their thoughts. So I'm glad you guys like this. So I'll be back to you. How am I sweating? And I'm literally sitting here. All right, y'all, the setup kind of changed. You know, I was like sitting in bed, whatever. But then I stole this lamp. So reading can get done in my little corner, my little sanctuary. So I am officially 100 pages in to Keep Her Safe. Nothing much really happened from when I last updated you except some progression in Noah and Grace's story. She goes by Grace. She's like,
no one calls me Gracie.
Because her dad used to call her Gracie, so it's actually like sad. Yeah, but Noah and Gracie, what happened? So he pulls up to her trailer, right? He goes up there, knocking on the door, no one answers. This nasty bum comes up to him. He's like,
what do you want? I've never seen you here before.
And he's like,
because I've never been here before.
Use your brain. And so they're bickering or whatever. Gracie pulls up, not only pulls up, pulls up with a knife. She's waving it at Noah. Freaking like grazes his stomach a little bit with the knife. They're bickering with each other, being like,
what are you doing here?
He's like,
I can't tell you here. Like, we need to go somewhere private.
which honestly, like from Gracie's standpoint, I would be having that knife on his neck. What are you saying? That we have to go somewhere and talk in private and I've never seen you before in my life. I'm calling the police. She almost does call the police, but she thinks that Noah is a drug dealer trying to get her mom some drugs. So she's like, I'm about to call the police. And he's like,
stop. I'm leaving. I just came here to give you something.
And in the midst of all of this, also before we get there, they're bickering, whatever. That bum, he's still there. He's kind of charging at Noah. Gracie's like, okay, you can back off now, leave. He's like, what do you mean, leave? Noah like kind of gets in front of Gracie to go and defend her. I'm like, that's my man, yeah. This little altercation's going on. All of a sudden, flames and fire is coming from the trailer. Girl, what's going on? So the trailer's on fire because Grace's idiot mom freaking is making a grilled cheese, falls asleep, or probably goes unconscious because of all the heroin that she was doing, falls unconscious. Now the trailer's on fire. Gracie goes in, sees her mom. She's trying to get a fire extinguisher to extinguish the fire. She can't. Noah comes in, grabs it, starts putting out the fire like the firefighter he is. He's not a firefighter. I'm just saying that. She goes into the room, gets some drug. What was it called? Narcan? Do I look like I know? Absolutely not. She gets some drugs for like when her mother ODs, right? Grabs that. She's going to administer the process, right? She can't. The trailer is burning. Noah is grabbing her mom, dragging her out of the trailer. They all leave. Gracie's like, put her on the floor. He's like, are you sure? She's like, yeah. Puts her on the floor. She starts doing the whole thing. It's not working. So Noah's like, you might have to give her another dose. Gracie goes to give her another dose. The police are called, paramedics, firefighters, everyone shows up, puts out the fire, right? They're taking her to the hospital. Noah's like,
Come in.
let me drive you. She's like, no, I don't know you. I'd rather walk. You're scary. What are you saying? He's like, I promise. Like, what have I done so far to make you not believe me? Just get in the car. She's like, fine. And you also said that you have something for me. Fine. They get in the car. They go to the hospital. They start talking a little bit. He's really just trying to give her this money. He's like, come to this hotel with me. Honestly, like, from Grace, like, we know Noah. Noah's like this nice, charming boy. Actually, he's not, man, he's like 25. Also, I think she's like 20. He's 25. It's not terrible of an age gap, but like, can she at least drink? Whatever, I digress. They're in the hospital. He's really just trying to give her this money. He's like, let's go to this motel and get something to eat and then I'll tell you everything. She's like, no, which valid. And that's when he pulls out, what have I done to make you think that I would do anything to you? I literally saved your mom's life. Maybe trust me? And you said you remember me from childhood. Because, you know, remember, like I said, their parents used to like, they were like best friends, whatever. So she finally gives in. They go to this motel. He gets her some pizza. And while, you know, he's out doing the thing, she's searching for this bag. She sees that there's money in it. And yeah, we also get a little POV from Abe quite a few years back. And he's going over to Noah and Jackie's house. And he confronts Jackie and he's like, where does she go? Jackie's like, what do you mean? All this stuff. So basically, Jackie was following this guy and this girl to a motel. And this girl had called Jackie and gave her a tip. So she's following them. She goes into the hotel. Chapter ends. We get Abe's a few chapters later. He's like, where's the girl? She's like, she like doesn't tell him. Abe's like, you and I are done. You could have saved the girl. You could have done a lot of stuff and you didn't. You did what would only benefit you. Jackie was like, she's sorry. Abe says that their partnership is done. Anything between them, it's over. Jackie gives in and is like, she's at this place. Look for her. That's where I dropped her off. And she's like 15. So I'm like, what's going on here, guys? Yeah, that's where I'm at. 100 pages in. How am I feeling about the relationship? Because it's advertised here. So how am I feeling about it so far? You know, there's like a little slick comment that Noah made. And I was just like, twiddling my toes. I wasn't kicking my feet in the air yet. But I think there's some potential. And yeah, that's all I have for you. I look bald. Don't worry, guys. You know, my hair is just braided. Am I giving, like, orange is the new black? I have an update for you guys. I'm on page, like, 170 something. I'm on page 180, and some stuff went down. I found out some information. Where did I leave off? I should have looked this up before I did this. So remember that girl that I was talking about that Abe was trying to find, and he went to Jackie's house and was like, we're done because you won't tell me where she is, and then Jackie finally gave in? Well, guess what? Did I say her name? Her name is Betsy, if I did. Betsy is Noah's mom's half-sister. So, let me give you the rundown. Dina's mom. Dina is Gracie's mom. So, Dina's mom was with this other guy. They came together, they had Dina. God knows where he is. She met this guy named Brian, right? They got married, and they had another daughter. Her name is Betsy. So, that makes Dina and Betsy half-sisters, right? So, by this time, Dina was in Texas with Abe and Gracie, and, you know, had that life. But back at home, back in Arizona, they were in the trailer park. Things were not going well between Dina's mom, Brian, and Betsy. Brian was touching her and just sexually abusing Betsy, and also she was like a troubled child, I guess. She would shoplift, do other things, I don't remember. Betsy had tried to tell her mom that Brian was sexually assaulting her, but her mom didn't believe her. She's a piece of actual garbage, whatever. So Betsy's like, I'm just gonna run away. So she runs away. This is when her mom is like, oh my god, maybe she was telling the truth. She confronts Brian about it. He admits to it. She kicks him out. Now it's like too late because, girl, like, where's Betsy at? We don't know. They're trying to find her somehow, some way. Betsy ends up in Texas where Dina, Abe, Noah, Jackie, where they all live. So she ends up in Texas, and that's when Jackie got the tip, you know, like was searching for her. She was searching for Betsy, but I guess Betsy didn't want to be found because she ran away to get from this disgusting situation, and if she was found, maybe she would have been put back in that situation. Jackie was looking for her, and she saw her, but I guess she didn't want to be found, so she like dropped her off at a location, and then that's when Abe and Jackie were having that little fight about, because Jackie knew where Betsy was, but she wasn't telling Abe. This is when Jackie finally caved in and told Abe where she was, and then he goes there. I don't finish my sentence, but y'all, he goes there and he's shot. Pretty peculiar how you give me this location and I'm shot the same night. I explain further. And did she say the Lucky 9? Jackie might have said that she was at the Lucky 9, guys. If this is confusing you, I'm sorry. I'm just as confused. This is a side piece. It is told to us that Abe was out very late at night off of company hours. He was staking out places just trying to find Betsy, and he would like be out late at night trying to find where she went. And I'm like, why is he looking for this girl? Because it's his wife's half-sister. But Abe didn't tell Dina what he was doing, so she thought that maybe he was cheating on her. Maybe she didn't know. Again, do you remember when I told you guys about there was this black man who was taking people's drugs and then selling them, right? And then like the profile matched Abe. So I'm gonna introduce you guys into a character, right? His name is Dwayne Mantis. He was a cop. Him and Jackie, they used to work together. They didn't really get along at all. And he was the head of a unit, I guess, a subdivision of the police department called Internal Affairs. Internal Affairs is getting investigated because somebody on the team has been falsifying evidence to clear police officers. That's weird, right? So, do you guys remember that unit that I was telling you about that George Canning set up to catch drug dealers? Mantis was a part of that, and Abe was a part of that. They do this big bust at this hotel called the Lucky 9. They take a picture because it was like this huge thing, whatever. Gracie and Noah find this picture in this box that Dina told them to get when she was in the hospital. Did I mention that she was in the hospital? Noah notices Dwayne Mantis and of course Abe too, and he's like, why are they together? Whatever. So do you see where I'm going with this? That was that day. And then 10 days later, Abe is found dead at the Lucky 9 with drugs and money and some other dude. So this is, guys, it's clicking for me. Oh my god. Do we think that Jackie set this whole thing up, I think? And Mantis. I feel like Jackie and Mantis set this up so they could cover themselves. So they won't get in trouble. This is my thing. I think Abe was sent to the Lucky Nine where Betsy was going to be, but I don't think she was really there because it was Abe and then another guy. And then I think that someone came in and shot them because the night that Abe died, a man comes into Dina's house, has a knife on her neck, and is like, "Where's the video?" She's like, "What are you talking about? What?" No, but she's genuine. She was like, "What video are you talking about?" The man was looking for the video of the police drug bust at the Lucky Nine. And he was like, "Give me the video or I'm going to take Gracie and I'm going to kill you." She's like, "I don't have any video." This makes me think that whoever that guy is, who I'm thinking is Dwayne Mantis, I think Dwayne Mantis and Jackie conspirated. They came together to set up Abe to go to the Lucky Nine because that's where Betsy was going to be, for him to die. And then because remember they had that suspect, like, who was doing that? It's probably Dwayne Mantis. So I think they came together, set that up, framed Abe to be at that hotel so he can fit the description, and then Dwayne Mantis goes to Dina to try and get the evidence so he can clear his name. And remember, Dwayne Mantis is the head of internal affairs, which is being investigated because it's being said that it's falsifying evidence to clear police officers, which would be himself. Does that make sense? And that makes sense on why I'm so guilty and why she was feeling so guilty about it. And then then Gracie's like, "Why did your mom give me all this cash?" She probably gave him the cash. That is so sick. Jackie probably gave Gracie the same cash that was at the crime scene where Abe died. Girl. And then Dina tried to go to Jackie's house to like talk because again they were all like this, and she shunned them away. And then that's why like the man came into Dina's house and had the knife over her neck. That's why her and Gracie left so quickly and didn't return because she was so scared. Y'all, this is only page 180 and I feel like I have the whole story. I'll be back. Y'all, I'm literally in school. Noah and Gracie dropped off Dina at a rehab in Arizona. They made their way back to Texas. And y'all, they were in the car, right? Gracie was they have this dog. His name is Cyclops. He has one eye. He's kind of like crazy a little bit. They have this dog. So Gracie was taking him out to go to the bathroom. And Noah was on the phone with his friend. And the friend knows that Gracie's there with Noah, and the friend was like, "What does she look like?" And Noah was like, "She's a firecracker." Hold up, I can find it. So the friend's like, "What's she like?" Noah says, "She's a firecracker is what she is." The friend says, "As hot as one too?" "It's not like that." "So she's hot then." And then Noah says,
She's hot as hell. She's got this wild curly hair and these green eyes and a body.
And then it interrupts with Gracie going into the car. She comes back and she ends up hearing Noah. So yeah, so now they're living in Texas. They're living in the house, Noah's house, and it's giving playing house. Noah's making her breakfast and they're like kind of eyeing each other. I'm like, okay, all right, whatever. We got a chapter of Abe confronting Daniel Mantis because guys, okay, so Abe, remember when I told you guys that Abe goes to the Lucky Nine to look for Betsy, right? So he was there one night. He sees like a drug bust going on and he sees Mantis. Mantis is telling this guy, "We got you," or whatever. The guy that they supposedly got, he was like, "No, like you put the drugs here. I'm innocent. You can't do this. You can't do that." Mantis pops the trunk open and sees all these drugs, and Abe sees Mantis throw a black duffel bag into a black car, right? So Abe goes to like the information at the police office. I don't know what that's called, but like it's like where you look up data and information. So he goes there and he sees that from that drug bust, only guns and drugs were like in the system. No cash was in the system. No cash was reported to be found at the scene. So then Abe knows that Mantis stole the money, put the money in the truck, and only like reported the drugs and the guns that he found. Then he confronts Mantis about it, at like a basketball thing that they do after work. And Mantis was like, you don't know what you're talking about, and basically just denying the whole thing. And he was being really like suspicious, kind of low-key threatening. I'm like, Abe, you about to die. And then we get information that Jackie called this FBI agent, and this FBI agent is also investigating Noah because I guess he's a part of the, investigation. So Jackie called this FBI agent to tell him to investigate Mantis because he killed Abe, and I don't know how he did it, but he did. So that just like really makes me question. I was like, Jackie, aren't you a part of this? Didn't you like help Mantis set him up basically? Or maybe she didn't know what she was exactly doing. I don't really know. I'm kind of confused, but yeah, it seems like she was trying to get justice for Abe because she knew that Mantis killed Abe. But I don't know, everything's really confusing. And then what else happened? Gracie and Noah are trying to find this video that guy was looking for. If you guys remember when I told you that, he was looking for a video from Dina, and that's when he like came to the house and like pulled a knife into her throat. So they're looking for that, and that's where we're at now. So the romance is kind of progressing a little bit, little by little. I think it's definitely like a slow burn, and it's not the focal point of the story. They know who killed Abe, Mantis, and they're trying to figure out where Jackie plays into this, and also how they can try and make Abe innocent. Quick update, I look crazy anyway. It doesn't matter. So Silas found Noah and Gracie at the police station. Why do I keep saying police office? He found them at the police station. He was like,
yeah, absolutely not.
He takes Noah to this back room. Noah starts explaining everything that's been going on and everything that we know up until now. And so he brings up this video. Wait, first of all, before he does that, Silas keeps saying like,
Noah, I swear to God, I've looked at all the evidence. Abe did it.
Noah's like, no, he did not. My mother make a phone call to the FBI agent saying verbatim that Dwayne Mantis killed Abe. And Silas is just like not here for it until Noah brings up that someone was looking for this video and threatened Dina. He was like,
what video?
So then Noah starts, explaining everything, and Silas is like, I never knew of a video. We need to find this video. Meanwhile, Gracie is in like another part of the police station with this guy. His name is Harvey Maxwell. I think he was like one of the lawyers for the case. So Gracie is talking to Maxwell. Maxwell basically tells Gracie that Silas knew about the video. So after their convo, Noah comes back into the room, and Gracie, she kind of asks Noah like, does your grandfather know about the video? And Noah was like, no, he doesn't know about the video. And Gracie, in her internal monologue, is like, why did Silas not tell Noah that he already knew? So this makes me think that Silas, one, he knew about the video, obviously, but I feel like the video is going to incriminate him, maybe. So I feel like Silas has something to do with it. Like, I don't think he's as innocent as he seems. So I think Silas is in on it. And that could be another reason as to why Jackie didn't go to him when, like, everything was, like, popping off and whatever. Because remember, she didn't tell him about the money. She didn't tell him about a lot of stuff. So I think this is another reason, because the video might incriminate him in some way. Alright, y'all. I'm gonna give you guys a quick rundown of everything I just read. So I'm on page 283. Basically, Gracie and Noah are driving, right? They're driving around town. Why do they look back and the FBI agent is following them? They think they lose the FBI agent, but they don't, and they get to talking. Basically, Gracie tells the FBI agent everything that's going on. It seems like the FBI agent, like, truly wants to help him, like, genuinely. So I'm gonna trust him for now. But we'll see. The FBI agent gives Noah and Gracie the real police report of Abe, that like the true statements, like nothing's like taken out or whatever. And they're like, where'd you get this from? Jackie sent the FBI agent the real police report before she died. Interesting, right? Like, you couldn't have done this before. Like, what? Like, Jackie! So they have this police report. They're about to go home, back to Noah's house. Why does Mantis pull them over? Girl, what are you doing? Aren't you the head of the internal affairs? It is not your job to do traffic stops. So he pulls them over. He's being all aggressive, telling them to get out the car, telling them that he's going to search the car when he has no cause to. Thank God another cop pulls up, and he's like, what's going on? And Mantis is like, nothing. But basically, Mantis knows that Gracie and Noah are looking into him and the whole Abe murder case. So that sucks. So then they're home, and then their romance starts progressing. They're like up reading the police report together, and they like fall asleep in each other's arms, and then Noah kisses her. It was so cute. And then The morning comes, the FBI agent comes back to their house, and the FBI agent tells Gracie to be cautious of Noah because Noah's uncle Silas could potentially be covering for Cannon, who was the chief at the time that Abe was murdered. Walk with me. We're at the point where Mantis killed Abe, and we need to get that proven. We need to find evidence that Mantis killed Abe. We need that video. Where that video is, I don't know. We don't know yet. But this is the thing. Mantis only killed Abe because of the protection that he would get from Canning. Canning was the chief. You have protection by the chief? Babe, you're not getting fired. You're going to be cool. Canning tells Mantis to kill Abe because if the story gets out that the Austin Police Department's like squad drug busting crew has been stealing money and is essentially like all corrupt, then that's going to ruin the reputation of the police department. So Canning doesn't want that out there. So he is telling Mantis to kill him with the protection that like, hey, nothing's going to happen to you if you kill Abe. So he's going to kill Abe, and that's also going to save Mantis's job and reputation, right? He's like, just take care of him. This is going to protect Canning and the police department. And who is protecting Canning, you say? Silas, the ADA. I don't know what that position is. It seems high and mighty, but Silas is protecting Cannon, who is protecting Mantis. And Silas is Noah's uncle. So then that's why the FBI agent was telling Gracie to be kind of, cautious and weary because Noah's uncle is Silas, who was protecting Cannon, who was protecting Mantis. And now they're in cahoots with the FBI. So we're gonna see where that takes us. The romance, honestly, like I was like, when is this romance gonna start romancing? Because everywhere on this book, it's like the romantic mystery, the steady, slow burn romance doesn't take away from the mystery. I'm like, okay, but where's the romance at? But no, stuff is happening between them and I can like feel it. Like it's just the little things they do. Like when they got pulled over by dirty, disgusting bum Mantis and he was getting aggressive, Noah stood in front of Gracie, like put his arm out and stood in front of her, and like he touches like her thigh and her hand to like make sure that she's okay and let her know that he's there. It's just very cute. Like it's cute or whatever. I like it. Yo, whenever I'm reading like a thriller mystery, you will get a play-by-play. Like I have to tell you, yeah, I'll come to you with updates hopefully tomorrow. I've been kind of slacking on reading, and then I put reading off into the nighttime, and then I'm like half asleep, but it's okay. We're gonna get everything situated. It's gonna be fine. I'll come back to you with updates tomorrow. And y'all, this explains why Silas was asking Noah about the video. It wasn't that he was claiming that he didn't know what it was. He was asking if Noah knew where the video was, because if he did, he would have destroyed it. Because if that's found, then this whole operation that happened 14 years ago is fucked. It's ruined. That makes sense on why he was asking. And I just hope it doesn't come to an ultimatum of Noah being like, well, that's my uncle. I can't just throw, like, no, Noah! You have to do what's right. And what's right is your uncle is garbage. I've always felt in my heart that he was garbage. And everyone in that police force is garbage. And we have to protect Abe. Even your mother was low-key garbage. And I'm sorry, but we have to protect Abe. I digress. Basically, the FBI agent is coming on to Gracie. Like, he's like flirting with her. I'm over here like, that's disgusting. Noah and Gracie did the deed. It was fade to black. I was not expecting that because all over this book, it's like sexy romance. Fade to black? Okay, next we find out that Canning knew that Mantis was corrupt all along, and then like a following chapter, we get Jackie going to Canning, who was the chief at the time, being like, Abe saw Mantis pocket cash from a drug bust. Cannon said, let sleeping dogs lie, leave him alone, because if they come out with this, that means that that drug dealer is going to be able to go back out into the streets and like do more harm, which honestly is understandable. And also, if that gets out, then you could wonder, well, if this case was kind of corrupt, how many other cases were corrupt and mishandled, and then that could mean that all those drug dealers get out of jail and are back out into the streets. So I understand why Canning would want to stop this. He just wanted Abe to stay quiet, but Abe really wanted to expose that because that is a bad thing that's going on. But then again, it would unleash criminals back out into the world. So like, y'all, I know this old man, doesn't have the entire setup on tape. Okay, so Gracie and Noah go back to the Lucky Nine, right? Because they figured out that, first of all, they found the video. The video was in this trophy that Abe fixed for Noah, and Noah, like, remembered, I guess. Coincidence, right? So then they go to Lucky Nine to, like, kind of see who would be filming, what's going on. This old man is there. He's like, yeah, I filmed the whole thing. I knew your dad was innocent from the start. Gracie's like, how do you know that? He's like,
because I filmed the entire setup.
what? And you think to mention this now, 14 years later? Why didn't you say anything? Why didn't you do anything? I digress. You guys. Abe and his partner at the time, which was this man named Dunn, they went to the Lucky Nine because it was called that there was some prostitution going on. So they go to this room and they see Betsy with this older man. Now, Betsy was only 15 years old at the time. Remember, Betsy is Dina's sister. And Abe was looking for Betsy. But no, this is like before he realized that was Betsy. So they go to the room. The guy's acting really weird. They go to Dunn. They find who Dunn is. Again, Dunn is Abe's partner before he died, right? So they go to him. They're like, what happened that night? He's like, we got a call to go to the hotel. And then the old man made a call. And then Jackie called them to go somewhere else. So then the question was, well, who was Jackie trying to protect that much that she would tell Abe to get away from a 15-year-old prostitute who's in a human trafficking ring, and also his wife's sister who's been lost? Who could she care for that much? They find Betsy. She's still alive. They find her. She's telling the whole story of, everything that happened to her. They're like, do you remember anything about this man? She's like, no. The last second she was like, he walked with a limp. I was like, who walked with a limp? Motherfucking Silas. Y'all, Noah's uncle, Jackie's brother, the assistant district attorney at that time, now district attorney, was engaging with a 15-year-old prostitute who happens to be Dina's sister? Y'all, the pieces are connecting. The puzzle pieces are piecing together. Oh my God. I need a second. This man's gonna be like, I didn't know how old she really was. She said she was 21. I didn't know who she was. I don't care. And you probably didn't know how old she was because you're a freak. You're a nasty, disgusting freak. This man was messing with his sister's best friend / police partner's wife's half-sister. Jail time. Turns out Silas has been messing with multiple underage girls. And so he called Canning when Abe showed up at the motel and caught him, right? Canning called Jackie and sent Jackie over there. So Canning knew that Silas was a nasty, dirty pedophile, and Canning used that information to make Silas basically do whatever he wanted. Whether it was like a case that maybe Silas disagreed on, Canning agreed on, he would bring up like, hey, you're a pedophile, and then, so like he used that information. But then Canning was the one who was behind Abe's death and sent Mantis to do it. We already know that. But Noah's confronting Silas about all of this, and why does he say this? Okay, so he's blaming the federal agent, the FBI agent, on why Jackie essentially killed herself. But he said the bastard had managed to spin your mother into such a web of anxiety that she drank herself into passing out on her kitchen table. Passing out? Girl, she killed herself. What are you saying? Noah says, wait, why would you say she was passed out on the table? What? He pauses as if to replay his own words in his head. Do not tell me that someone killed Jackie. The window was open. And Noah was like, could someone like come into the house and kill her and then like sneak away? And the cop said, no, someone killed Jackie. Oh my God. Who killed her? Who knows the alarm code? Do not tell me Silas killed his sister. Do not tell me Silas killed his sister. Do not. I just wanted to talk some sense in her. That's why I drove over there that night, to talk some sense into her. I don't know what came over me. The gun was there and she sounded so sure on the phone. I don't. Silas killed Jackie? Y'all. She was going to ruin so many lives, including yours. I don't know what came over me in that moment, but I couldn't let her do that. I couldn't lose everything. I couldn't spend my life in prison. But this, if I had any idea what it would feel like to carry this guilt day in, day out. Don't tell me Silas is about to kill himself. I'm not going to prison, Noah. Y'all, I feel like he's literally about to shoot himself. Oh my God. Why would he let him do that? Y'all, it's right here. I'm not going to prison, Noah. Take care of your aunt for me and your cousins. I would be like, oh no, you are not about to know. I cannot believe this man killed himself. He's a pedophile and he killed his sister who protected him. All right, so I finished Keep Her Safe. Yo, what the? First of all, I've always been suspicious of Silas. So I feel like Silas has something to do with it. Like, I don't think he's as innocent as he seems. So I think Silas is in on it. But I did not expect this man to have killed his sister. But you know what? I should have known because he's already a sick freak. Once I found out that he was a pedophile, sleeping with underage prostitutes, girl, I should have known that he was a sick individual and that he would do something as sick as that. Mantis, Stapley, and Canning are all going to jail permanently. But oh my God, Betsy and Dina are reunited and it feels so good. And then Noah and Gracie are like this, forever bonded. It was so cute. She was like, it's gonna be a little bit, but I have to read it. And yet, still, he is here for me. For my mother, for Betsy, smiling wide, genuinely happy for us. Maybe he's here to right his mother's wrongs, or maybe it's because he has nowhere else to go. All I do know is that since that moment the gunshot sounded, he could have made so many different choices. He could have not asked questions. He could have decided that the potentially dark secrets were better left buried. He could have never come to find me to save my mom. He could have simply continued on with his life, coping over time with the pain of his mother's suicide, with his Uncle Silas as his closest family member. He chose differently. And for that, I will be his buffer. I will stand by his side in the hard weeks and months and years to come. I will challenge anyone who dares to claim that he is anything but a good, honest man. I leave the park bench where my mother sits and go to Noah, to rope my arms around his waist and melt into his chest. It rises and falls with his deep sigh, and then his arms tighten around me. Yo! This was great. I loved the mystery. It was weird because it wasn't like, I need to know what happens next. It was just like nice flowing and figuring out pieces to the puzzle and new information. That was fun. That was interesting. This is cute because it's like they're all each other has left. They do have other well, Noah not so much. I was gonna say they do have other family members. More like Gracie has other family members, but I feel like at a time in the middle of the investigation, they were literally all each other had, and they went through the same things. They were going through the same things, the same griefs, the same surprises, shocks, everything with each other. And I think them going through all that and like the murder case and everything that they had been through in their past, like before they even knew each other, brought them close together, and is more the reason why I was gonna give it like a 3, maybe 3.5, but honestly, 4. Like, the plot twist, it just made sense. The puzzle pieces made the puzzle. I enjoyed the story, and I enjoyed the romance at the end because it was sweet and cute, and it felt like they belonged together. Yes, like, I can see them being a couple. You know how, like, sometimes in books, there'll be 2 people and they're in a relationship, and you're just like, these 2 people don't need to be in a relationship. And I don't see how they can be in a relationship. They do not connect. They are the epitome of connection and being connected and having chemistry. It's gonna be like a 4 from me, maybe 3.75. Never ended the video. All right, guys, so I hope you enjoyed it. This actually was originally supposed to be a reading vlog of everything I read this month, but then it turned into a 40-minute reading vlog of me reading this book. So you're just gonna get this book. But I do hope you enjoyed this. Went along for the journey. Frick Silas, what's wrong with you? I'll see you guys in the next one. Also, y'all, who was this girl on the cover? Who is this supposed to be? I thought it was gonna be Gracie, but Gracie is mixed with curly hair. This girl does not have curly hair. Who is this? Is this Betsy? Jackie? Who's on the cover, K.A. Tucker?